She was live, posting every single day, smiling at the camera, showing the world her perfect road trip, her perfect van, her perfect life, her perfect boyfriend. And then, the post stopped. Just like that. No warning, no goodbye, no final photo. One day she was there, and then she was gone. And the boyfriend came home alone, without her, and said nothing for 10 days. Her name was Gabrielle Venora Petito, but everyone called her Gabby. She was 20, born on March 19th, 1999, in Bethpage, New York. She grew up in a loving family, a girl who was always moving, always creating, always finding something beautiful to point a camera at. From the time she was young, she had this energy about her, this warmth, this excitement about the world that was impossible to ignore. She started posting online and people immediately connected with her. Not because she was performing, but because she was genuine. She had a YouTube channel, an Instagram account, a TikTok. She shared her life openly and happily with anyone who wanted to watch. And people loved watching. Because Gabby was the kind of person who made you feel like you were right there with her. Like you were her friend. Like you were part of her adventure. She loved the outdoors, hiking, camping, road trips, open skies and mountain air, and the feeling of being somewhere new. She had big dreams. She wanted to travel the entire country. She wanted to see every national park, every mountain range, every desert canyon, every stretch of open road that went somewhere she had never been. She wanted to document all of it, every single moment, and share it with the world. That was her plan, and in the summer of 2021, she finally got the chance to make it real. She and her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, packed up their white Ford Transit van. They had converted it into a living space, a bed, a kitchen, everything they needed to be on the road for months. And they hit the road, together, July 2021. The trip of a lifetime. That is what everyone thought. The early posts were everything Gabby had promised her followers. Beautiful golden hour sunsets, van life aesthetic photographs, smiling faces in front of mountains and rivers and endless open roads. She was living the dream she had talked about for years. And she was sharing every single moment of it. Her followers grew rapidly. People were invested in the journey, watching every up, commenting, sharing, feeling like they were on the road right alongside her. And Gabby loved that. She loved the connection. She loved knowing people were watching. She loved being part of something bigger than herself. And then something shifted. It was subtle at first, almost imperceptible. The posts became slightly less frequent. The captions became shorter. The energy in the videos felt slightly different, slightly quieter, slightly more guarded. But nobody really noticed, because everything still looked beautiful on the surface. Everything still looked perfect. On August 12th, 2021, something happened in Moab, Utah.
No, she takes the blame for that physical altercation. Take a listen.
Did he hit you though? I mean, it's okay if you're saying you hit him, but then I understand if he hit you, but we want to know the truth if he actually hit you. Because
I guess, yeah, but I hit him first.
Where did he hit you? Don't worry, just be honest.
Like, grabbed my face. It's like, I guess, he didn't like hit me in the face. Like, he didn't like punch me in the face or anything.
Did he slap your face or what?
Well, like, he like grabbed me, like, with his hand, and I just did quiet. I definitely have a cut right here, because I can feel it.
Police were called to a domestic incident near the area. A witness had reported seeing a man hitting a woman near a white van. Officers located the couple and separated them. Gabby was visibly distressed when officers spoke to her. She was crying, struggling to explain what had happened. She told officers that she and Brian had been arguing, that things had gotten physical between them. But she took responsibility. She said she had been the one to hit him first. She blamed herself. The officers believed what she told them. They separated the couple for the night. Brian stayed in a local motel. Gabby stayed in the van. And the next morning, they continued the trip. Together, this is where things get disturbing. That body cam footage from the Moab incident would later be seen by millions of people around the world. A young woman sitting on the side of the road, in tears, trying to explain something that she could not quite put into words, visibly shaking, visibly not okay. And yet the trip continued, and the posts continued, and the smiling photos continued. And nobody outside of that van knew what was really happening inside it. The last confirmed social media post from Gabby Petito was on August 25th, 2021. A photograph outside a restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming. She looked happy. She looked relaxed. She looked like After that silence, her mother Nicole Schmidt had been texting Gabby regularly throughout the entire trip, checking in, sending love, following along with the journey like any proud mother would. And now the responses were becoming strange. The texts felt off. Not quite like Gabby. Too short, too distant, missing the warmth that was always there. Like someone else, on August 27th, Nicole received a text from Gabby's phone. It said no service in Yosemite. But Gabby had never mentioned going to Yosemite. That was not part of any plan Nicole knew about. Something felt deeply wrong. A mother's instinct firing somewhere beneath the surface. She kept trying to reach her daughter. She kept telling herself there was a reasonable explanation. She kept waiting. And then on September 1st, 2021, Brian Laundrie arrived home in Northport, Florida, in the white Ford Transit van, alone, without Gabby. He walked through his parents' front door. And he said nothing. His parents said nothing. For 10 full days, nobody in that house said a single word to anyone about where Gabby was. Gabby's family was desperately trying to reach her, calling her phone, texting constantly, reaching out to Brian directly, getting no response, no explanation, no acknowledgement. And Brian Laundrie was at home with his parents, going for walks, visiting local parks, living completely normally, as if Gabby Petito had never existed, as if there was nothing wrong, as if the white van sitting outside was just a van, and not the last place anyone could prove Gabby had been alive. September 11th, Gabby Petito's family filed a missing persons report with police in Suffolk County, New York. The moment that report became public, everything exploded. The internet found this case within hours. Gabby had thousands of followers who had been watching her trip in real time. People who felt like they personally knew her. People who had watched her laugh and explore and share herself so openly. And her fiancé was home. And he was not talking. The true crime community mobilized instantly. People started going through every post she had ever made, every video, every background detail, every location tag, every comment, looking for clues, looking for a timeline, looking for anything that could help find her. TikTok users were analyzing her last videos frame by frame, identifying landmarks, cross-referencing locations with maps, building timelines from screenshots. The entire internet became a volunteer investigation team. And Brian Laundrie still said nothing. His family released a statement through their attorney. Brian would not be speaking to law enforcement. He would not be answering questions from media. He would not be assisting in any effort to locate Gabby. Nobody, not the scale of public reaction, not the way this case would grip an entire country, not the way millions of strangers would become personally invested in finding one young woman they had never met. And Gabby's family sat at home, waiting by the phone, praying for news, holding on to hope with everything they had. On September 15th, 2021, Brian Laundrie, his parents told investigators he had left to go hiking in the Carlton Reserve in Florida and had simply not returned. Now there were two missing people, Gabby Petito, and the one person on earth who knew exactly what had happened to her. 4 days later, on September 19th, 2021, a team of volunteers searching a remote area of the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming made a discovery near human remains in a heavily forested area, not far from where Gabby had last been documented. The remains were confirmed to be Gabby Petito. She was 22 years old. The Teton County coroner ruled the manner of death, homicide, cause of death, manual strangulation. She had been strangled, left in that remote wilderness, alone while Brian Laundrie drove her van back across the country, while he unpacked his things at his parents' house, while he went for walks in the Florida sunshine, while her family filed a missing persons report, while the entire world searched desperately for her. She had already been gone. For weeks, long before anyone even knew to start looking. And that was the last time anyone saw her alive. In that van, living what the entire world believed was the adventure of her lifetime. On October 20th, 2021, human remains were discovered in the Carlton Reserve in Florida. They were confirmed to be Brian Laundrie. A notebook was recovered near his remains. Inside that notebook, Brian had written a confession. He admitted to taking Gabby's life. He claimed it was an act of mercy. He wrote that Gabby had been that she was in pain, that she was suffering deeply, and that he could not bear to watch her suffer any longer. And so he ended it. That was the explanation he left behind. That was the story he chose to tell. A story that no one could now challenge. A story that no one could now question. Because the only other person who was there was gone. And that is where because even police couldn't explain this fully. Was Gabby actually injured before the strangulation? Was the mercy narrative genuinely true, or was it the final calculated lie of someone who knew he would never face justice? What exactly happened between August 25th and the moment she died? What were those final days like in that wilderness? What did they argue about? How did it reach the point of what happened in those moments that we will never see? We will never know the complete answer, because the only witness made certain of that. The Laundrie family faced enormous scrutiny from the public and from law enforcement. The question of what they knew and when they knew, it haunted the investigation. Gabby's family filed a civil lawsuit against Brian's parents, alleging they had prior knowledge of what happened to Gabby and deliberately concealed it from authorities. That lawsuit was eventually settled. The terms were sealed. Another answer locked away. Another truth that will never fully surface. The text messages sent from Gabby's phone after August 27th remain a point of deep unease for many who followed this case closely. Were those messages really, or were they from Brian, using her phone, constructing a false trail, buying himself time? The investigation examined those messages carefully, but the complete findings were never made fully public. What happened to Gabby's camera equipment, her hard drives, the footage she had filmed but never posted? If that footage still exists somewhere, what is on it? What did it capture in those final days? These questions do not have public answers. They may never have answers. And they sit there permanently, heavy, unresolved, refusing to disappear. Gabby Petito wanted the world to witness her adventure. She succeeded beyond anything she could have imagined. The entire world witnessed it, just not the way she had planned. Not through the lens of beauty and freedom and gold, but through the lens of a missing persons investigation. A homicide case. A hashtag that millions of people shared. A story that dominated news cycles for months. She wanted to share her life with the world. And instead, the world watched her disappear from it. Her mother, Nicole Schmidt, has spoken publicly about Gabby many times in the years since. She has described her daughter as pure sunshine, as someone who lit up every single room she walked into, as someone who had more love to give than most people ever encounter in a lifetime. She was going to do extraordinary things. She had extraordinary plans. She had a van full of camera equipment and a heart full of unfinished dreams. She had a future mapped out in national park coordinates and perfect golden, and she trusted the person sitting beside her in that van. Completely, unconditionally, the way you trust someone you have chosen to spend your entire life with. That trust cost her everything. There is something that never leaves you about this case. Something that sits with you long after you think you have processed it. You can go and watch Gabby Petito laugh. Watch her set up her camera in the middle of nowhere and talk to her followers like they are sitting right next to her. Watch her be completely and fully alive. Completely herself. Completely unaware of what was already moving toward her. Those videos are permanent, and somewhere inside them is the last version of Gabby that the world ever got to see. A 22-year-old girl with a camera and a dream and a smile that nobody who saw it has ever been able to forget. The next time you watch someone documenting their perfect life online, remember that cameras only ever show what people choose to point them at. They never capture what exists just outside the frame. Gabby pointed her camera at everything she found beautiful. And what was waiting just outside that frame was the thing that ended her. Hold the people who truly love you a little closer tonight. Because some people pack up a van full of dreams and never find their way home. Subscribe to Disturbing Cases because some stories refuse to stay buried. The next case we cover will leave you questioning